Get ready for this piping hot tea. Get ready for a tea time and filter with your girl Lovelyti. Spilling all this hot tea on these podcast streets. So get ready for this piping hot tea from tea time and filter with your girl Lovelyti.
Hey, tea sippers. I hope you guys are doing good today. I am back with another podcast with Emily. Emily, say what's up to the people.
What's up, everybody?
So I hope everybody had a wonderful New Year's. We definitely did. And I cannot believe that it's already 10 days into the new year. It seemed like we were just waiting for the party not even a week and a half ago.
Yeah, time really flew by. Like everything since the, like the planning and everything had came about. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to be able to make it. Like Christmas flew by. Like everything just flew by so fast. And now my days are like so off because I'm like, wait, what day is it again? I don't know why. Like I can't seem to get back in the rhythm. But we definitely brought the new year in right. So I have a feeling it's going to be a great new year.
Yeah, no, I had a good time and it was just awesome, like just hanging out with like a lot of the tea sippers that came through and,
yes,
the ugly Christmas sweater party and then going to
that was lit.
It was. I have not done karaoke in I don't know how long. So that was definitely fun. And everybody just following the theme with the sweaters and then going to the club the next day. And the cool thing is the first week of January, the weather was surprisingly mild because that's not typical Minnesota. It's gotten colder now, but I'm really happy that we did the party for New Year's because the weather was like almost perfect.
Yeah, now I was thinking, I was like, is this normal? I'm freezing. How do y'all live like this? And then it was like, that ain't even that cold. Like it really wasn't that. It was just the wind. But for the most part, like you said, it wasn't bad. Like it wasn't frigid because everybody had told me before going up there, they're like, oh, it's cold up there. It's cold. And when I got there, it was cold, but it wasn't like as cold as I was expecting. And then when I see the weather that y'all got coming or might currently be in, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cold for real, for real.
Oh, yeah.
So it was perfect.
Yeah, no, it's definitely dropped. So it was really nice to see like a lot of the Southerners come and like people from the West Coast. And it was their chance to actually like see snow or be in like, a little bit of a snowfall. So that was just really cute. We definitely had
that made my trip. Well, that wasn't all that made the trip, but I was so excited just seeing the snow because y'all snow, some people, I don't know, some people might disagree, like, or get mad at me say, but I swear, like, it sounds weird. Y'all snow is prettier than our snow. Like, it glistens and sparkles. And I was like, taking pictures of the ground. Like, I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, I don't know. It may just different environment, I guess, but y'all's snow is so pretty. Like, it's just different than when we get a little bit of snow here. Like, y'all's was so pretty.
And what's so funny, it was like, I don't know, people were just bugged out because of the weather, but it was some people like running around with no jackets on.
Girl.
Remember that dude? He was like drunk. He was just like sliding on like in his shoes and no jacket and just sliding.
Burying something?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the hell are you burying, man?
Oh, yeah, they were having a field day in downtown Minneapolis. It's like everybody and their mama was out in the snow, no jacket on, super short outfits. Even the guys
titties, booty cheeks.
Yeah, they didn't give a damn. They're like, oh, this is not normal. We about to kick it, snow or not.
Yeah, and another thing I really liked about your city is how like everybody there was so cool. Like everybody was so nice. And a lot of times people in the South will always say, there's nothing like being in the South and that Southern hospitality. But when you go up north, people in Minneapolis are so nice, so friendly. The people, that worked at the events and the hotel and even, just when we were at the mall and you're getting coffee, like everybody was really cool and really nice.
Yeah, they call it
very nice city.
Nice. That's what they call it. They call it Minnesota nice. And yeah, for the most
really?
part,
Okay.
yeah, there's a name for it.
It's called mice?
No, Minnesota nice.
Minnesota nice. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like the nicest city in the Midwest or something like that. So yeah, they do call it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. A lot of people are like really cool. I mean, of course, you'll always get one or few weirdos, but for the most part, like the customer service is on point and people are really on point. And the hotel staff was just wonderful.
Oh yeah, really, really nice for sure. I really like Minneapolis. It's a great city. I was so
Yeah.
glad I got to go and kick it. And the event was amazing. And it's just really, it just goes to show the type of people that you attract because it was just like such high vibrational, good energy. Like we had such a great time, so much fun, lots of laughs. Like it was just no matter where we went, it was a party. It was lit. It was fun. It was good energy. So it was a great thing to be a part of.
Well, I'm glad you're able to come up here. It definitely was like just a blessing just to like bring everybody, who could come to my city. Because usually we're always like in the South or we're in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So it was nice to like bring everybody up north and people really enjoyed it and they want to come
Mhm.
back. So
Yeah, I know
maybe
I
I'll
do.
do, yeah, maybe I'll do something else in the future. But
For sure.
so yeah, so while we were partying and hanging out and having a good old funky time in Minneapolis, there was a lot of drama going on TikTok. And you were telling me about it because I didn't even know this was like a thing. And part
Mhm.
of it is, we're boy moms, so I don't keep up with like all
Right.
the latest makeup, more or less sports, and that's what I'm more or less into with the boys. But
Mhm.
all the makeup and the Sephora drama, I don't know. But for y'all who don't know, who have not heard, there's a lot of drama going on with these Sephora kids. And what they're saying is that basically you have a lot of kids now between the ages of 8 to like 12,
Mhm.
pre-tweens and tweens, and they're really getting into like skincare. And they're going into places like Sephora, Ulta, and they are just messing things up. They're spoiled. Their parents are giving them all of this money, credit cards to go shopping, and they're buying hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of like just beauty supplies and makeup and skincare. And people are like, what is going on? Why does an 8-year-old need Drunk Elephant? And I didn't know what Drunk Elephant was, but it's a whole skincare line. So if you want to go ahead and
Mhm.
just kind of explain some of that.
Okay, so yeah, what the thing that's kind of become a lot of people speaking out, giving story times. A lot of people that work at Sephora has come out and told their stories, and they're pretty much saying that Sephora has become the new Claire's.
Mm,
And Claire's was my spot when I was younger, but Sephora, as most people know, that's a store for grown-ups. That's not a kid's
right.
store. That's more high-end makeup products, high-end perfumes, skincare, things like that. There's some things that are affordable, but for the most part, like that's for the grown folks to go shopping. Not saying
Right.
that kids shouldn't get stuff there, but I don't know what their obsession is with Drunk Elephant, but that is what is on trend right now. It is Rare Beauty, which is Selena Gomez's makeup, and Drunk Elephant. And there's like these moisturizing drops and these bronzing drops. And these kids are just going fucking bonkers over it. And they're going, and not to, I mean, hell, I'm grown. I like to do the spray tests and stuff like that. But kids, I will give a little grace. Kids will be kids, so they're going to mess with all the samples and stuff, and they're just wreaking havoc on the stores. And then also, a lot of adults are feeling away because a lot of people that might have more sensitive skin and stuff like that need these products and they can't get it. And they're like, why does a 10-year-old need retinol? Like the more
Hmm.
concerning issue is a lot of these products that these kids are buying is it's not a 9-year-old does not need anti-aging cream. A lot of this stuff
Right.
is not good for their skin. So when they bring it to the parents' attention, like, in a professional manner, maybe you might want to find something a little bit more age appropriate. The parents are clicking on them. So it's like you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And a lot of people have gotten to where they don't even want to go to Sephora anymore because it's just become flooded with 9 and 10-year-olds. Once again, it's turned into the new Claire's. Mind you, Claire's are barren. I go through Claire's all the time.
I don't
They
see
got them at Walmart.
nobody.
Right. Nobody. So
I
I'm
don't see
like,
none of these kids in Claire's or icing. Remember, icing was another store like
yes,
Claire's. Yeah.
yes, I love the icing. And I noticed they put a Claire's in our local Walmart. I don't ever
Mhm.
see any little girls in Claire's. I don't see nobody in there, like you said.
So we're gonna go ahead and watch some videos of people talking about the Sephora kids. Like all of these videos are now viral. So I'm gonna go ahead and play them really quick here.
Someone that works within a Sephora, I have some things to say about Sephora Kids. And let me tell you something about these little girls. They are rude. These 10-year-olds are crazy. Like literally the most feral. I was a camp counselor. The Sephora kids are different than any type of kids. They just have no concern about adults. Oh, the rules of like staying in a kid's place, like that doesn't exist in a Sephora. That is now an 11-year-old's domain.
Dear younger kids and teens, Can you please stop doing this to the testers inside of Ulta's and Sephora's?
Now, when you're influencing people, don't even assume that you're talking to a fellow like 21-year-old, 25-year-old, like a 30-year-old woman, like, you know, these women that you're talking to that you think you're talking to, you're not. You're talking to a literal 11-year-old who thinks that, you know, she can do the same things as a 30-year-old influencer can do. And it's just like, no, ma'am, put that down.
It's not the fact that they're little girls in Sephora, because makeup is subjective. There's no age limit to it. But it's more of the fact of what these girls are reaching for when they're in these stores. So they're reaching for things that are going to permanently damage their skin, that are going to like cause burns, chemical burns, scarring, like all these things that are just like not the best for kids. And then it's also the way that they're treating the workers within it. You see these kind of like mean girl antics with these 10-year-olds, which is like shocking to see, because usually that's a little later on in life. They're kind of like completely pushing out older women in general, just like being like this level of disrespect that you've never seen from a child to a woman, where you're seeing like them pushing them out of the way of like certain products they're reaching for, or they're like opening like bottles that we haven't even opened as testers, and they're using that as products, which we're having to damage those out. So that's lost merchandise also. So that's one of the main things that you're seeing, but you see like this aggressive like demeanor towards older people, like they just simply do not care. I have literally had girls come up to me while I'm in the middle of talking to a customer, usually an older woman, and trying to help her find a product. And it's, oh, do you have this? Do you have this? Like without even context. And I'm like, oh, like give me 1 minute. It's just, there's no concern. The root issue is definitely the trend. They're all following a trend. But also, I think when we're talking about trends, we cannot blame the influencers, because in reality, these 10 to 11-year-old girls, 10 to 12-year-old girls are not supposed to be on TikTok. Like the age limit is 13. So you can't even get mad at these influencers, because in reality, they do think they're talking to an older audience that are not a bunch of children. All of this does fall back on the parents. Like, obviously, you don't want to blame them, but it is a child at the end of the day, and they're only doing as much as they're allowed to. So when they're reaching for these items, you do as a parent have the authority to step in and be like, let's look at this, put that back. What's happening is that you're kind of seeing that parents don't want to like discipline their kid, but they don't want you to do it also. So we're kind of put in a hard place where we're like, oh, we want to be like, oh, no, you can't do that. But also that's not our kid. And people get really mad when you try to tell them what to do with their kids. So it's a really hard line to balance.
I just saw a girl on my For You page talking about how Sephora has become the new Claire's. There's a bunch of 10-year-olds running around fiending for Drunk Elephant and like looking for rare beauty as if Selena Gomez is in the building. And let me tell you, I have a story for you. These 10-year-olds are crazy. Like literally the most feral. I was a camp counselor. The Sephora kids are different than any type of kids. First of all, whatever did happen to Claire's? Because I catch myself going into Claire's sometimes when I want a pair of cheap earrings or like a random event that I'm never gonna.
So you guys just watched that. You just heard the video. This entire situation is insane with the Sephora kids. You know, again, I hate to once again blame social media, but that's where a lot of this is coming from. Not just social media, but like the TV shows that a lot of these kids consume. They're iPad kids. These are kids who have been given iPads from the time they were 1 and 2 with no type of context. And they are behaving in the same way that they see influencers act, that they see the bad girls, you know, the baddies act. I remember we had the Teacher Collins show, and a lot of teachers were saying, like, these little girls are watching, you know, shows like The Baddies and Bad Girls Club and whatever else with their young parents, and they're going back to school and they're emulating that. So to me, that's no different than them watching their favorite influencer. And, you know, if I'm spending 8 hours a day literally scrolling on TikTok and looking at beauty influencers, YouTube influencers, regardless if I'm 9 or 19, if this influencer that I look up to is saying that this is their favorite product, this is what they use, that's the point of an influencer. They influence you to do certain things. And so now you have a bunch of 9-year-olds who feel like they need retinol, and it does not make any sense.
No, it doesn't. And I do agree with the girl when she said, you know, as far as influencers go, that's what they do. I mostly blame, the parents, because at the end of the day, first of all, and I'm trying not to like look at it just from me and like when I grew up and stuff like that, because I'm thinking, damn, I'm grown and I barely go to Sephora. Like that's for
Right.
they ain't cheap. So how the hell are these kids, getting the funds to even buy stuff from Sephora? But even that aside, something that you're putting on your skin, when it comes to any type of products, these parents are oblivious to what they're buying. Because I mean, I think a lot of girls, I was really into like playing with makeup and stuff like that when I was younger too. But I would get like the little cheap kid sets and stuff like that, and you would play with it, and it wasn't actually.
They didn't have a lot of dye and pigment. It was really light colored.
Yeah, it was almost just like it was made for kids. And there was a really good point that was made though, where they were saying there's really not much of a middle ground anymore for younger girls. Because like we said, we're boy moms. So I don't really get too much into the stuff with younger girls. But I have noticed that there isn't a lot of show. You don't see like a That's So Raven show anymore. You don't see I watch Lizzie McGuire, Hannah Montana, any of those, kind of like preteen shows where they could kind of relate and identify. I mean, they have Northwest. I mean, that's the only person I know that's kind of younger. I'm sure she has a skincare routine. Not to mention, I'm just curious as to what influencer put on Drunk Elephant. Like, of all products, why is that the product that they're just going crazy over? And Rare Beauty, like, why are those the two that just seem to have popped? But yeah,
Well,
there's
I
no
think
middle ground.
part of it, from what I've kind of researched, just the name Drunk Elephant alone, just to me is more adult, even that name Drunk.
Right, exactly.
But from what I researched, when I looked at the packaging, it looks very kiddish. It does
and they
not
even had the
look like
littles.
it doesn't look like a grown folks packaging with like the metal, gold, and the silver. And I mean, it's very like kiddish. It's neon. They have names like Jelly and Little, and so I think these companies are also, they know what they're doing. They can try and play crazy all they want to, like, oh, we don't know why these little girls are, fiending over Drunk Elephant and Rare Beauty. Well, they are, because look at the packaging. You
That's
guys
true.
are making them look kid friendly. Even though these are grown adult packages, I mean, they're grown adult products in the packages, they look kid friendly. Because I think one of the names was like Jelly something or Jelly Belly, something like that. I might be mistaken.
Yeah, that sounds like something for a kid.
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
I can see that with these bright colors, these plastic tops, it looks more kid friendly, but that's where, like you said, as an adult, you have to step in. But I think you raised a really good point that there's no more middle ground for kids. Kids are literally going from the kid stage, right? They're going from Coco Melon to like grown stuff. There's nothing.
Euphoria.
From Coco Melon to Euphoria. I think one of the TikTokers said that, and that is true. Because even when we were growing up in the 90s, I remember just being a kid watching Barney and watching, Lamb Chocks, Play Along, Where Kids Come.
Nick Jr.
Yeah, watching all this stuff on PBS, Nick Jr. And then as I got like to my preteens, we had Snick. So we had Are You Afraid of the Dark? Hey
That show was
Arnold.
lit. I love that show.
Pete and Pete, Pete's brother Pete, and they were both in love with Ellen.
That was the show.
Doug. Like, we had all of these shows in between. Then once we started getting a little bit older, then, we were able to start watching like Moesha and, the shows that were geared more towards, going into high school. Blossom.
Larissa Explains It All.
Yes, exactly. And I again, I don't watch, like, my kids are a little bit older now, so I don't even know what shows are popping on Disney for little girls. But I know there's no more Hannah Montana. There's no more Lizzie McGuire. I remember even back in the day, my kids watching Sam and Cat. There's no shows like that. So, and I think that's the problem, that because there's no more shows like this anymore, the kids are now glued onto social media. They're looking
It's YouTube.
YouTubers. Yes, it's YouTube. YouTube is a new television. And even when we talk about music, I remember I talked about this a while back. There's no kid music for them. Like, I think the last teeny bopper kid musician really was like a Justin Bieber. Who's the 2024 version of Justin Bieber or Selena Gomez? All of these folks are grown now. When we were younger, we had like So For Real. We had New Kids on the Block, New Edition.
Britney Spears.
Yes, Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake, the Disney Club, you know? So we had a lot of these musicians that were around our age or younger that we could relate to. We watched them go through puberty. I remember watching Full House and, you know, seeing these girls, you know,
The Olsen twins,
Olsen twins, you know, DJ and Stephanie Tanner, and you're seeing them going through puberty and going through the same issues that you're going through as like a preteen and prepubescent and things like that. But these kids, they don't have that. So what they're idolizing is the girls who already gone through puberty and they're grown and they're in their late teens and early 20s. So they're looking up to the Kylie Jenners. I mean, Alabama Barker, we've talked about her several times. Nothing about her screams 16-year-old. She looks like a grown woman.
I think she just recently turned 18, but she looks exactly the same now as an 18-year-old that she has since
when she was 15. Exactly.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Fillers and, you know, boobs out. Like these kids are being groomed to look so much older and act so much older. And even though their bodies might be developed, they might have fillers and whatever else, mentally, they're still children.
Yo, what's up?
Hey, Tea Sippers. To listen to the rest of this podcast, please go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, or AnchorFM.com, which is a free podcasting site. Thank you guys so much for the support, and stay tuned for the next video.